So, I have some thoughts about the recent Warped Tour lineup announcements. There's some things that I'm super hyped about, and other stuff I'm not. But before we get started, how you doing? My name is Nate. I play guitar in a band called Casper Flip. We're a punk band based out of Paris, Texas. And on this channel, I post road vlogs, live videos, general update videos, and sometimes commentary videos like this. Just general punk music content. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel. With that out of the way, let's get started. First off, the general Warped Tour announcement was kind of expected at some point within the coming years, because there have been murmurs everywhere about Warped Tour coming back for a few years at this point. I'll admit I was kind of bummed that they kept it to 3 cities with 2 nights each, but my feelings flipped, and I'll tell you why in a sec. My initial fear was that Warped Tour was going to become just another When We Were Young fest full of nostalgia bait, and only be touring for like a weekend or two out of the summer. Then the lineup started coming out after months and months of speculation. The 6 acts that were announced, I think, kind of quelled people's worries about Warped Tour, but also amplified some worries for some people. The 6 acts that were announced were Bowling for Soup, Pennywise, Simple Plan, Miss May I, Chandler Layton, and Dance Hall Crashers. 5 of the 6 acts are former Warped bands, and 1 is what a lot of people think is like a more corporatized version of pop punk. Kind of what some people are dubbing influencer core, like Youngblood, TX2, shit like that. But I digress. The biggest issues that people were having was that they thought there were going to be more underground acts as well as some legacy Warped bands be announced. Editing Nate here. I just found out from a couple of the bands in my local scene that Ernie Ball is doing Battle of the Bands for the Ernie Ball stage for, I don't know if it's one date or if it's all dates, but either way, Ernie Ball is doing like a Battle of the Bands like they used to do back in the day for bands. So, I mean, there are going to be up-and-coming, like, local bands on the bill, you know, at some point. I don't know when they'll be announced, but this was just information that I didn't have prior to writing and recording the video. But, back to the video. But in the days after the first announcement, more bands have been announced, such as State Champs, Starting Line, and Ian Dior. And that's only amplified people's worries for the same reasons. Most people are asking why Ian Dior and acts like him are on the Warped Tour. Need I remind you where Warped Tour was specifically around like 2010, 2013, when they were really needing to like kind of revitalize their thing? Either way, Kevin Lyman needs the mass appeal to bring people in. That being said, I want to get away from the negatives and get to the positives of Warped Tour coming back in the way that it is. Listen up! First off, about the pop acts that are on the bill. Let me confess something real quick. In 2020, Machine Gun Kelly released Bloody Valentine, the first single from his album Tickets to My Downfall. I liked the song and the subsequent singles so much that I pre-ordered the album. And the album won awards and got mass critical and audience acclaim, for the most part. I was all for a pop-punk resurgence. And then the market just got really oversaturated within like 3 to 6 months. It's all like related to Travis Barker in some way. In layman's terms, in 2020, I gave MGK a genuine chance and I liked it. Yeah.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah. The point being, with how oversaturated the market became with pop rap artists doing punk music like Mod Sun and Demi Lovato, some of the people listening to that music broke out of the worst top 40 and actually explored alternative music. I'm thinking that's what might happen here. I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt, you know? For example, say someone comes to see Chandler Layton, and then because they spent the money on the tickets, there are so many acts on the bill, and it's an all-day event. Say they go see, like, Dance Hall Crashers. They like Dance Hall Crashers, and when they get home, they look up bands like Dance Hall Crashers and get into, like, Bikini Kill and Operation Ivy. Overall, I think it would be pretty good to get the scene thriving again with more young people or, like, newer punks and get them into the DIY mindset. Number 2, the fucking Dance Hall Crashers reunion. So, a bit off topic, but back in April, I got to see NoFX on their last tour in Fort Worth. It was a fantastic fucking show, and I hate that it was my first and last time to see NoFX live, because if the chance ever arose, I would drop so much money to see NoFX live again. They put on an amazing live show. Anyways, one of the members of DHC, Karina Denicky, was playing keyboards and doing vocals with NoFX. Whenever she was singing, she dominated the fucking stage, and she was a fantastic stage presence overall. Which makes me super bummed that I don't live in Orlando, DC, or Long Beach. But hopefully, because they've been heavily promoting the fact that they're on Warped Tour and their online web store and shit like that, they will go on a proper national tour and they'll come through our neck of the woods. Final thoughts. Overall, I'm super excited for Warped Tour to be making a comeback in any capacity. From what it looks like, Kevin Lyman is doing 6 bigger shows to kind of test the waters and see if the want and demand for Warped Tour is really there. And if they make enough money, they'll eventually make it a national tour once again. I'm pretty hyped to see some of the performance footage that'll come from these 6 shows, and I'm most hyped for the Dance Hall Crashers reunion, obviously. I'm sure in the future, if Warped Tour takes off again, we'll see more and more up-and-coming bands like we did back in the day on the bill, but for now, we have to settle for bigger names to help fund the future of the Warped Tour. But that's just one guy's opinion. I want to hear your thoughts. Are you guys excited for Warped Tour? Are you guys gonna go to one of the 30th anniversary shows? Do you have your tickets yet? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you want to support us and our music directly, go to www.casperflip-band.bandcamp.com. We've got t-shirts, we've got CDs, you can buy the album digitally. If you don't want to drop money immediately and you want to like listen to us for the first time, get a feel for what we're about, you can find our album on all major streaming services. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.